Hello and welcome you all in the class of zoology. Myself, Dr. Prakash Shade. Today I am explaining about the classification of non-chordata. As you are already known that there are different kinds of the animals, they are available at the different corners of the world. Then question get rise in our mind that why there is a need of classification of animals. If our intention is to differentiate the animal from one animals to the another animals, at that time there is a need to categorize the similarities and dissimilarities of the two animals, so that the classification helps to categorize the animals in different groups. Now we are already known that the zoology is the branch of science in which we deals about the structure of animals and structure and functions of animals. Now we are already known that the father of zoology and embryology is Aristotle. Now zoology is directly related to us because we are the again part of the animals. So there is a need to differentiate the different types of the animals in the different groups. For your kind of information, there are about 12 lakh species of animals, they are present on the earth, and every year there are about 10,000 new species of animals are added. These animals shows different habits and habitats. Okay, now we are already known that the animals, they are reported from the different corners of the world, they are inhabitant in the different habitats and they are having their specific habits. So on the basis of the habits, the animal, they are classified into the 5 main groups. They are nothing but the free living animals, commensal animals, symbiotic animals, parasitic animals and predators animals. Okay, now we are already known that the free living animals are those, they are freely inhabitant in the natures, they are not dependent on to the another animals. So such kinds of the animals, they are known as the free living animals. Commensal animals are nothing but the animals which show the interaction between the other groups of the animals without, that is the harming to the other animals. They take just make the association with them. Symbiotics are the very important type of the group of animals here, in which one group of the animals, they are dependents on to the another animals. Then the another categories are nothing but the parasitic animals. Parasitic animals are those, they are having the ability to develop the disease condition in case of the other animals. Predators animals are nothing but those animals, they are having the ability to feeds on to the other animals. Okay, now here we are already known that the habits. Okay, there are the different habitats of the animals, and on the basis of the habitats, the animal, they are classified into the terrestrial animals, those they are inhabitant onto the lands. Fossorial animals, they are inhabitant inside the burrow. Scansorial animals, they are having the ability to climb on the wall or on the trees. Freshwater animals are nothing but those, they are inhabitant in the freshwater bodies. Marine animals are nothing but those, they are inhabitant in the seawater. Benthic animals are the another group of the animals where they are inhabitant, that is they are attached to the bottoms. Then the pelagic animals, the pelagic type of the animal, they are inhabitant on the surface of the water. Lentic animals are those, they are inhabitant in the running water. Lotiquat animals are nothing but those they are inhabitant in the stagnant or the standing water. Arboreal animals are nothing but those they are inhabitant on the trees. Aerial animals are those they are having the ability to fly in the sky. Oceanic or the abyssal animals are nothing but those they are inhabitant in the deep sea water. Littoral animals are those they are inhabitant in the intertidal zones of the marine water. Planktonic animals are those they are inactively floating on the surface of the water. Nectonic are the another categories of the animals they are actively floating on the surface of water. So these are the kinds of the animals they are classified on the basis of their habitats. Now the classification are nothing but that is the scientists divided animals into groups or categories on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities of characters. It is known as the classification. Okay, so scientists use the that is categories where they are having the ability to categorize the similar characters and dissimilar characters. These kinds of the categorizations are known as the classification of animals. Now classifications of the groups. Now for the classification of animals there is a requirement of the classification of the groups. Now the classification groups are nothing but the taxa. Taxa are the plural words and the singular is the taxon. Mayer are the renowned taxonomist. They here give the name of the taxon in the form of the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Then there is also supra, sub and infra are used to increase the number of taxa. Largest taxon is nothing but the kingdom and smallest taxon is nothing but the species. Unit of classification of animal is the species, or the unit of classification is also known as the species. Taxonomy is the branch of the science in which we will study about the taxonomic characters of the animals or the plants for their identification. Decadals first time were made such type of the classification, that is they were made the identification, nomenclature and the classification of the individuals. So taxonomy is also known as the systematic biology given by the Linnaeus. New systematic word was given by the Huxley. Father of the taxonomy is the Linnaeus. Species word was first given and defined by the John Ray. Mayer gave the improved definition of species that can reproduce with each other. Gene pool is specific. Possibility of the evolution is always present and ecological niche of every species is particular. Aristotle described 500 animals in his book Historia Animalium. He classified animals into the two groups, that is the Anomia and Enamia. Now without the Anomia are those animals they are not having the RBC in their blood, and Enamia are those animals they are having the RBC in their blood. Now Enamia are further classified into the two groups, that is the ovipara and vivipara. Ovipara are those type of the animal having the ability to lay the eggs, and in case of the vivipara, the animal they are having the ability to give birth directly to the young ones or the babies. Binomial, there are the different kinds of the classification, that is the binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature were used by the Carolus Linnaeus. Later on the Carolus Linnaeus, old name Carl Linnaeus, gave popular form of the binomial nomenclature in his book Systema Naturae in 10th edition. He also classified 4236 animals and used the word class. Some common examples are frog, Rana tigrina, rat, Rattus rattus, housefly, Musca domestica. Species name of two different genera may be same as, for example, dog and cat, that is the dog Canis domesticus and cat Felis domesticus. Trinomial nomenclature was given by the Sticklands and Huxley. Third name is of the subspecies. Some common examples are the Indian sparrow, Indian crow splendens, Burma crows insolens, Sri Lankan crow protagatus. Okay. Now the Corvus splendens are that is the scientific name of these crows. Hackles and the Langston gave rules of classification. International Community of Zoological Nomenclature was adopted in 1964. Why? Because in the different region there was using the different languages or the different the system which is adopted for nomenclature, and therefore that is the confusion will be made. So that to avoid such type of the confusion, there was a International Community for Zoological Nomenclature was adopted in 1964 universally. And according to these ICZN, if suffix is OIDEAE, it represents order. If suffix is IDE, it represents family. If species name is ended with the small I, it shows respect to male, and if species name is ended with the AE, it shows the respect to females. So these are the some rules were adopted as per the International Community of Zoological Nomenclature. Types of the classification, there are the different types of the classification. They are nothing but the 2 kingdom type of the classification, 3 kingdom classification, 4 kingdom classification, 5 kingdom classification, and 6 kingdom classification. Okay. Now the 2 kingdom classification was given by the Linnaeus, and according to him there are plants and animal kingdoms. 3 kingdom classification was given by the Haeckel, and according to Haeckel there are the 3 kingdoms. They are Protista, plant and Animalia. Then that is the 4 kingdom classification was given by the Copelands. According to Copeland, there are 4 kingdom. They are Monera, Protista, plants, animals. 5 kingdom classification was given by the Whitaker. According to Whitaker, there are 5 kingdoms. They are nothing but the Monera, Protista, fungi, plants, animals. Monera word given by the Haeckels. 6 kingdom classification was given by the Woese, Candlers and Willis in 1990. According to these, there are 6 kingdoms. They are nothing but the Archaeobacteria, Eubacteria, Protista, fungi, plant, animals. So these are the types of the classification. In cladistic, living beings are classified with clades similar to ancestors. Okay. Storer and Isinger gave modern classification of animals in general zoology. In a 23 phyla are present. 10 phyla are main start from the protozoa to the chordata. Remaining are minor phyla. According to recent work, the latest phylum which is discovered as Cyclophora, example Symbion. So total 36 phyla are known. 11 are main phyla and remaining are the minor phyla. Very simple form of the animal classification is as under. Now here, this is the classification key. Okay. Now we are already known that the animals, they are classified into the, that is the 2 types, that is schizocilic and enterocoelic animals. Schizocilic animals are those they are having the ability to develop the mouth from the blastopore, and in case of the enterocoelic animal, there is a formation of anus from the blastopore. Okay. So that is the non-chordata and chordata. That is these 2, schizocilic and enterocoelic, they are further classified into the non-chordata and chordata. Animals, as we are already known, here our intention is to focus on to the classification of the non-chordata. Now animals, they are classified into the protozoa and metazoa. Protozoa are nothing but those they are having only the single cell animal or the acellular animals. Now in case of the metazoa, there is a having the multicellular animals, for example parazoa and eumetazoa. Okay, now here in this case parazoa there is nothing but the porifera. Eumetazoa further classified into the radiata and bilateria on the basis of the body symmetry. Okay, radiata and bilateria. Then bilateria further classified into the acoelomates, pseudocoelomates and eucoelomates. Acoelomates are those they are not having the secondary body cavity. Pseudocoelomates, here in this case there is a starting the secondary body cavity, but they are actually not a true secondary body cavity. And eucoelomates are those they are having the secondary body cavities. Acoelomates are nothing but the platyhelminths are the acoelomates, and up to the platyhelminths the animals they are acoelomates. Then from the aschelminths there is a starting to the development of the secondary body cavity, so they are known as the pseudocoelomates animal. And from the now here is the eucoelomates are those they are having the ability to have the secondary body cavity. Eucoelomates are nothing but the schizocilic animals and the enterocolic animals. Schizocilic animals are nothing but the development, that is this type of the classification is based on to the developments of the animals. That is the in case of the schizocilic, the mouth are developed from the blastopore. Mouth are developed from the blastoporal lips. Then in case of the that is the mouth are developed from the blastopore in case of the schizocilic animals, and in case of the enterocolic animals the anus will be developed from the blastopore. Okay, so this is the main difference between the schizocilic animals and the enterocolic animals. Now schizocilic animals are nothing but the Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca. Here in this group of the animal the mouth are developed from the that is the blastopore, and in case of the enterocolic animal the anus they are developed from the blastopore. For example in case of the Echinodermata and Chordata. Okay, so we people are the enterocolic animals. Okay, we are the chordates, we are the mammals. Okay, and chordates, in case of the chordate blastopore they are involved in the formation of the anus. Non-chordata includes 9 phyla. As we are already know that non-chordata and chordata, the question get rise in our mind that what is the non-chordata and what is the chordata. Non-chordata are those animals they are soft bodied, they does not have the vertebral column, they does not have the notochord. Okay, whereas in case of the chordata there is a having the development of the true notochords, then there is a having the vertebral column. Okay, on the basis of these important characters the animal they are further classified into the non-chordata and chordata. And when here our intention is to focus on to the non-chordata, and for your kind of information non-chordata includes 9 phyla. They are nothing but the phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata, Platyhelminths, Aschelminths, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata. And for your kind of information, these 9 phylum they are arranged on the basis of their evolutionary trend. So you must remember, okay, the evolutionary traits of the non-chordates animal. First is the Protozoa, second one is the Porifera, third one is the Coelenterata, fourth are the Platyhelminths, fifth one is the Aschelminths, sixth one are nothing but the Annelida, seventh are nothing Arthropoda, then Mollusca and Echinodermata. These are the 9 phyla of non-chordates. Now here we focus on to the first important phylum, that is the Protozoa. Protozoa are nothing but the first animals. Pro means first, zoa means animals. These animals are microscopic. They are acellular animals without tissue and organs. They have one or more nuclei in their cell. Protozoa exist either singly or in colonies, as we are already known about the singly or the colonies. Singly are the individual animals and colony in the group. Almost about 50,000 species of the protozoa are reported from the different corners of the world. Okay, Anton van Leeuwenhoek was the first scientist to observe protozoa, that is the Varticella canbellaria under a microscope. He called them as the animalculus, that is the goldfuse, coined the term protozoa, which in Greek means first animals. Proto means first, zoon means animals. Hymens are the renowned personality in the taxonomical study of non-chordates, and other zoologists to call them as acellular animals. The body of protozoan is unicellular. They are generally referred to as acellular rather than the unicellular, as the so-called single cell perform all the life activities, though it is structurally equivalent to a single cell of the metazoan body. It is functionally equivalent to the whole metazoan animals. For your kind of information, we are already known that the protozoans are the single cell animals or the acellular animals, and the animal, they will perform the different activity, that is the physical, physiological activities and mechanical activities. Okay, so whatever the activity will be performed by the multicellular animal, the same activity will be performed by the single cell animal, that is the protozoa. That is the circulation, respiration, excretion, then there is a reproduction. All these activity will be performed by the single cell, and we are the human being, we are the multicellular animals, and we are having the numerous cells. So we are the multicellular animals, and in our body we are having the different organs. Such kind of the organs, they are not present in the body of the protozoa. There is just having the only single cell, and this single cell having the ability to perform all the activities. Now here are the some important distinguishing characters of the phylum Protozoa. Number one is the protozoans animals exhibit protoplasmic grades of organization. There is a division of labor among various organelles of the cell. Protoplasmic grades of organization are nothing but the ectoplasm and endoplasm. These are the two grades of the protoplasm are available in case of the protozoa, and in this case there is a division of labor among various organelles of the cells. Now these animals are solitary, for example Euglena, or colonial, that is the Proteospongia. Okay, they may be free living, amoeba, or symbiotic, that is the free living means those they are not having the interaction between the another group of the animals. Now in case of the symbiotic associations, symbiotic animals are those they are showing the interaction between the two groups of the animals, that is the parasitic, mutualistic, or commensalistic. Body symmetry is symmetrical, that is the actinopodians, or radial symmetry or sessile form, or bilateral, that is the Gerardia, or absent in case of the amoeba. Locomotion in case of the protozoan is brought by the pseudopodia, flagella, or cilia, or myonyms. Okay, that is the pseudopodia, flagella, or cilia, or myonyms are the important locomotory organelles. They are observed in the member of phylum Protozoa. Okay. Now nutrition in case of these protozoan is holozoic, means the holozoic or the holophytic or osmotrophic or saprophytic or the parasitic. Digestion in case of the holozoic means animals like holophytics are nothing but the plant likes. Okay, digestion is intracellular. Some form like the Euglena, mixotrophic, perform more than one type of the nutrition. Exchange of respiratory gases takes place by diffusion through the general body surfaces. Respiration is anaerobic in some parasitic forms. Excretion occur by diffusion across the general body surfaces by contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles serve mainly for osmoregulation and are common in freshwater forms. Asexual reproduction takes place by binary fission or the multiple fissions of plasmotomy or budding. Sexual reproduction takes place by syngamy or conjugation. Many forms undergoes encystment to tide over unfavorable conditions. Somatoplasm and germplasm are not differentiated, hence they are immortal except or form natural deaths. As we are already known that the protozoans are the single cell animals, Okay, there is not having the tissue gradation, there is not having the organs. Okay, they are solitary or colonial animals. Euglena are the example of the solitary animals, then colonial protoplasmic animals. Okay, so as we know that Euglena, they are also considered in the plants, because Euglena having the chlorophyll in their body, so that most of the botanists, they were considered as a plant. Here we consider as animals, because the Euglena having the single cell, so that zoologists considered Euglena as animals. Okay, then we are already known that in case of the protozoa, there is a different kinds of the feeding mechanism: holozoic, holophytic, osmotrophic. Okay, holozoic are nothing but the plant animal life, holophytic are nothing but the plant life. Then in case of the protozoa, there is having the only single cell, and we are already known that there are the different kinds of the physiological processes, they are takes place in every living being. They are nothing but the respiration, circulation, excretion, digestion, reproduction. Okay, now here in case of the protozoa, there is having the only single cell, and this single cell having the ability to perform all the activities of the animals, similar to that of the multicellular animals. Now here we consider that the respiration in case of the protozoa takes place with the help of the general body surfaces. Excretion is also takes place by the general body surfaces. Then in case of the protozoa, reproductions are of two types, that is the asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place by means of the binary fission or multiple fission or plasmatomy or budding. Sexual reproduction in case of the protozoan takes place by syngamy or the conjugation. Many forms undergo the encystment to tide over the unfavorable conditions. Encystment is the particular type of the developmental stage having the ability to undergo the dormant conditions. Okay, and when there is a suitable conditions are available, at that time they start their development. Somatoplasm and the germplasm are not differentiated in case of the protozoa, hence they are immortal, that is the exempt from natural deaths. So thank you so much for patiently listening these video lectures. If you have any queries, then go to the comment box and mention your questions. I will try to explain again. Okay, thank you so much one and all.